In this video, I'm going to help you decide which 3D modeling software you should learn for 3D printing, the one that best fits your goals, and how to get started if you're a complete beginner and on a budget. Now, if you own a 3D printer, then you already know that if you want to utilize your machine to its full potential, you're going to eventually need to know how to design your own models from scratch, especially more so if you want to utilize 3D printing to eventually prototype your own products and eventually even sell them, which is why learning how to design is an essential skill, especially for this hobby. But let's be real. Learning how to design is a skill that not only takes time, effort, and a lot of energy, especially if you want to go all in into building something and developing the right skill sets, which is why in this video, I'm going to help you make an informed decision as to what software you should pick based off of your goals and help you decide which one will work best if you're on a budget. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon. I've been a full-time designer and creator for the past 5 years. My entire business is based around helping people learn how to design their own products and designs, in addition to selling my own products and STL files and memberships. Me and my team have made dozens of different products, everything from functional prints like toolboxes, crates, and containers, to even fun and articulated designs like flexies and articulated toys. And my goal with this video is to give you the right information so that way you know exactly what you need to do if you're just getting started from someone who has done this for over 5 years, and that way you can actually find a software, pick a goal, and actually set your target on something that actually sets you up for success around 3D printing. As a quick additional note before we get started, everything I'm going to share here today is based off of my personal experience. There is no single best software, and truthfully, everything is going to be based down to personal preference. Now, there are 5 main programs that I personally have used over the years, everything from beginner-friendly tools to more advanced CAD design and sculpting software. First on this list is Tinkercad. Tinkercad is perfect for students, anyone who is brand new to 3D modeling and 3D printing, and it gives you a easy to use and simple interface to creating basic shapes and models with its software. Now, what I really like about Tinkercad is that everything is web-based. You don't need to install some software, you don't need to have a fancy computer. All you need is a web browser with access to the internet. You can start creating your own models and designs straight through their portal. The only downside to this is that when it comes to creating more functional or even articulated designs, at some point you're going to eventually need to branch out. And Tinkercad is great, especially if you're just getting started and you want to get used to the modeling environment. But after some time, if you're currently using it right now or just getting started, you're going to eventually need to learn different softwares in order to develop the skill set you need for whatever goal you're trying to accomplish. Next on this list is Fusion 360. Now, this is one that I personally use the most out of all the other softwares on this list. What I really like about this software is that it has a ton of features and tools, and it's also widely used in a professional manufacturing setting. This is the exact same software I use to create this 3D printed toolbox, these 3D printed twist lock containers, to even a stackable and foldable storage crate. Literally anything you want, you can design right within this one software. The only downside to this, at least in my experience, is that I don't like the cloud-based features. For example, Fusion 360 has a free hobbyist license which limits you to 10 designs, and also has a cloud-based storage that constantly requires you to make updates and occasionally has you pause and save whatever document you're working on before you're able to close it. It's almost like if you were using your phone and you wanted to close an app on your phone. Then in order for you to close the app on your phone, you need to update or install something in order for you to actually close the application, when in reality, you should just be able to close it without having no hiccups. That's basically what it is, but otherwise, it's just a small nitpick. The next one on this list is Shaper 3D. Now, if you prefer designing on an iPad, Shaper 3D is a really great option. It brings a lot of what Fusion can do and Fusion's capabilities into a mobile format perfect for tablets and designing on the go. Whether you're on your couch, traveling, in bed, doesn't matter. You can pretty much just have an iPad in hand and an Apple Pencil, and when you have an idea or ready to design, you can just pretty much just start designing straight on your tablet. I also want to mention that you can pretty much do the exact same thing within Fusion. You can also do it within Shaper 3D, both in modeling, design, and rendering, and you will also notice that both of these have a few similarities in their UI. Now, the only drawbacks to Shaper 3D in my personal experience is that you do need to invest in the hardware, which is an iPad and an Apple Pencil, and they also limit the amount of features you have on their free license compared to Fusion, which has more features even on their free license. The next one on this list is Blender. Now, Blender is one of the most powerful and free programs that you can use for 3D modeling. It's great for character design, animation, rigging, rendering, sculpting. I mean, there's so many tools and features that you can use within Blender. Additionally, this is also the exact same software we've used to create articulated designs for the 3D printing community. And the best of all is that it's 100% free. with no subscriptions, no trials, and there is a huge library of tutorials online. The only catch here is that Blender has one of the steepest learning curves when it comes to 3D modeling. Like each major tool within Blender, like sculpting, rigging, or rendering, could be its own course. But if you stick with it and you're able to watch tutorials online or actually digest information from what other people are making, then you should pretty much have no problem, but it does take a little bit longer. The fifth one on this list is Nomad Sculpt. Now, Nomad Sculpt is a sculpting-based app for iPad. It's great for designing characters, flexies, toys, minis, and it's also really affordable at just 20 bucks. It's also very portable, meaning that as long as you have a tablet, you can pretty much sculpt and design anywhere on the go. The only downsides to Nomad Sculpt is that while it's great for organic sculpting, Nomad Sculpt is limited in terms of precision and functional modeling. Like it's not built for any sort of parametric or mechanical designs. Additionally, there isn't an entire library of rendering or rigging characters or anything like that. You're kind of just limited to what the software has in terms of sculpting. As a final thought, I do want to mention that each tool on this list serves a specific purpose and it depends on your goal, which I'll cover later on in this video. So whether you want to make toys, functional products, sculpt characters, there's a tool on this list perfect for you. The key here is choosing which one actually fits that goal and actually finding that software, learning it, and actually getting really good at it. Which is why if you need help learning how to design and create your own products for 3D printing, even more so knowing the step-by-step process to turning that great idea in your head into a final working prototype or product, then you need to check out 3D Printing School. 3D Printing School is all about helping you learn from A to Z how to turn your ideas into 3D printable products. When you sign up for 3D Printing School, it gives you access to the complete Design to Print Masterclass, a live community giving you feedback on your designs and prototypes even without having to be a designer, and a clear understanding as to what materials, tools, and workflows you need to create your own designs from scratch. If you're curious about 3D Printing School and want to finally utilize your 3D printer to its full potential, I left a 7-day free trial link down below for a limited time. Sign up today, and with that said, I'll see you inside the group. Now that we've gone over some of these software options, let's quickly talk about which one you should actually learn based off of your goals. Now, this all comes down to what you're trying to accomplish with 3D printing and what you're actually trying to do. So let's start with answering one key question, and I'm going to give you several examples as to how this relates to you. So the key question I would ask myself is, what kind of designs or products do I want to create? More specifically, what do you want to make and why? Like really think about this question and really think about why do you want to make it? And I can tell you from me personally, after working with hundreds of different people over the years and helping them create their own designs from scratch, most people fall into one of these two categories. You either one, want to create functional designs, or two, create artistic, articulated, or even fun designs. Now, let's start with the first one, which is functional designs. These are designs that serve a specific purpose, solve a problem, and offer utility. For example, I've worked with a dentist who wanted to create a custom tool set so that way he can keep his tools organized when he's working with patients. I had a client create their own custom weed whacker storage kit to keep their weed whacker in place or tucked away whenever they had it. I even had someone need help reverse engineering a charger for a motorbike and actually learn how to 3D print it and design it instead of actually buying it online for themselves. So if you're someone that's looking to solve practical problems with your designs, maybe reverse engineer an existing product or design, or maybe even create your own from start to finish, then Fusion 360 and Shaper 3D are both great options, especially if you're just getting started. I'll go into the specs of a laptop and an iPad later on, but my point here is that if you want to focus on functional products and functional designs, Shaper 3D and Fusion 360 are both great options. If you want to create artistic, articulated designs, these are more creative, aesthetically pleasing, stylized models like toys, flexies, minis, D&D characters, cosplay, anything of that nature that requires you to sculpt or model a character or a figure or a thing. For example, I've worked with someone who was a former Disney animator who wanted to create their own characters, 3D printed, and then sell it to the 3D printing community. I've also worked with creators who wanted to turn their 2D images of their models and actually convert them into 3D models and eventually sell them into their existing business. Now, what does this mean for you? If you're someone that wants to create artistic models, characters, flexies, toys, then Blender and Nomad Sculpt are going to be both great options for you because they both offer great options, especially when it comes to modeling on a desktop or even on a tablet. Okay, so now with all that covered, we pretty much covered everything you need to know when it comes to choosing the right 3D modeling software and as well as the use cases for learning each individual software. But what I want to do now is break down the cost, both the upfront and the hidden costs, especially if you're just starting from scratch. Now, this is for those of you who don't already have a computer or a tablet or who are looking to upgrade their existing setup or maybe even buy a new one. Now, with that said, I'm going to quickly go over what my current setup looks like and then what I would do if I was starting from scratch and even if I was on a budget. Now, for my personal setup, I do use Fusion 360 for most of my functional designs. I don't use an iPad for that. I do like modeling on a desktop. And my current desktop setup is a 16-inch MacBook Pro, which at the time of purchase was around $2,500, which is the M1 chip. I am using a Logi Ergo mouse, which runs me about 80 bucks. And I am using a Keychron mechanical keyboard, which I think is around 50 to 80 bucks on Amazon. My total cost for this entire setup, which you don't absolutely need, by the way, I'm just saying this is my setup, was around $2,700. Now, if I was buying a completely new setup, let's just say I was starting from scratch and I didn't have what I already have right now, there are a few things that I would look out for. The first thing is that I would need a computer with at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, at least 512 gigabytes of storage, and an M1 chip or newer. Now, I want to be clear, I've only ever used MacBooks. I never had a Windows computer, so you might need to look for a chip or a chipset that is similar and being able to handle the workload of these softwares. Keep in mind, you want to do your research, especially if you're buying your own, and depending on the software you plan to use, each software has their own descriptive sets as to what your computer should have in order to run efficiently. So just make sure to do your research before buying anything. Now, with that said, if I was completely on a budget, I would personally buy the MacBook Air with the M4 chip with at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, which I think is the default anyway. And I would probably upgrade the storage just a bit. This runs around, let's just say $1,000, and you would probably have to buy the mouse separately. Now, if you were completely on a budget and you just don't have a lot of money to spend, I would recommend buying a used computer. Truthfully, you can buy used technology on Amazon and you can pretty much get a good deal, which I'll cover later on in this video. But I've actually purchased used gear in the past and they've worked pretty well for me, especially for what I'm trying to do. So make sure to do your research, make sure to find something that best fits you. If I were starting all over, I'd probably get a MacBook Air and just try to work my way with that, as that pretty much will do most of what I'm trying to do. Keep in mind, if you are using this for business, you're going to have to upgrade your setup and actually invest a bit more because you're trying to do this for work rather than for personal use. Now from my iPad setup. So right now I have an M1 iPad Pro with 512 gigabytes and it is the cellular version. And I actually bought this used for around $700. Additionally, I'm also using a third-party Apple Pencil, which I purchased for around 20 bucks. So this entire set here is around $720. Again, this is overkill because I do have this more of a casual set. My desktop is more for work, but for me, I really think investing in good gear and a good setup. Additionally, this was used, so I honestly thought this was a really great deal, especially for the amount of storage and as well as for the cellular version, which if I were to buy brand new at the time this released, it would probably be around $1,500 to $2,000. If I was completely on a budget and wanted to use Nomad Sculpt or Shaper 3D, and I pretty much had no money, let's just say $500 or less, then I would probably buy an base model iPad, which is the A16 chip. I think at the time of recording this video is around $299 on Amazon, and I would still buy the $20 pencil since this pencil still works pretty well. If I have a little extra cash to spend, then I would buy the iPad Air, which is around $499 at the time of recording this video. Again, still a great deal, and especially since it has the M4 chip and additional storage space. I think with both of these models, you still get great performance, especially if you're modeling within these two softwares. Just keep in mind, if you're using this for more personal use, I would probably get the base model iPad. If I wasn't, and this is more for a business, I would just get the iPad Air or the iPad Pro. Keep in mind, I've only ever used the Apple ecosystem, so this is what I would use if I was using Shaper 3D or Nomad. If I was using a desktop, then I would probably get an M1 MacBook Pro, which is what I'm using right now, or even upgrade it to an M4 if I have the cash for it. As a final takeaway for this, I do want to mention that you want to make sure to check the specs before you actually buy it. Additionally, every single software that I mentioned on this list, on their website, is going to specifically tell you what specs your computer needs to have in order for it to run efficiently. Additionally, I also want to mention, consider your goals before actually spending any sort of money. Like, what is it that you want to do and what is it that you actually get fulfillment from doing? Keep in mind, in the beginning, it's going to be a little bit difficult as you start learning the software. But for the most part, once you start learning it and actually getting a good handle on it, you actually start to realize that most of the tools and things that you use within these softwares just become repetitive. And most of what you see, more likely 80% of it is what you actually don't use, while 20% of it is what you actually use. So just keep in mind. Additionally, if you're on a budget, don't be afraid to buy used gear or maybe used technology. I mean, I've had some great luck on Amazon buying their renewed or even used laptop and tablets, even more so for this tablet that I purchased for around $700, which I think is a really great deal. And truthfully, it came in really good condition. So I'm really happy with that purchase. So to summarize here, which software should you learn if you're just getting started? Well, if you want to create functional designs with some purpose, utility that solve a problem, maybe to reverse engineer an existing product or design, or maybe create your own, then Fusion 360 and Shaper 3D are both great options. They're available both on desktop and an iPad. But if you want to create fun, cute, articulated cosplay characters and minis, then Nomad Sculpt and Blender are both viable options. Keep in mind, you're going to need the right system and setup. So if you prefer to work on a desktop, then Blender. If you prefer to work on a tablet, then Nomad Sculpt is a great option. I also want to provide a quick pinup that you guys can download and print below. This will help you figure out which software will work for what, the costs, and a general overview as to what you can make inside these programs. With that said, that pretty much wraps up today's video. If you want to learn how to turn your ideas into 3D printable designs, make sure to check out 3D Printing School. This is an online community giving you the blueprint from A to Z to creating your own designs from scratch, regardless of your skill level. This community gives you in-depth guides to design, slicing, and resources, especially if you're a seller looking to sell your 3D printed products online. If you're curious about that community, you can check it out with a link in the description. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.